all of these people have in common? We'll give you a hint. One of the things that unites all of these living organisms is that they are breathing air. But what exactly is air? If we were to fill up this balloon with the air we breathe, it would be 20.95% oxygen, 78.08% nitrogen, and 0.97% other elements. But it hasn't always been this way. 2.3 billion years ago, the air was significantly different. The world used to be an anaerobic environment. This means that the air actually didn't have any oxygen in it at all. A massive shift occurred when oxygen was introduced into the environment. This shifted it from anaerobic to aerobic. The organisms on the planet weren't equipped for this, so the first unofficial mass extinction occurred. When this shift occurred, an organism evolved that was able to survive in an oxidized environment. Two single-cellular organisms that were essentially trying to eat each other ended up creating a double-membrane organism able to detoxify oxygen using mechanisms within its own system. This was called the endosymbiont. Endon meaning within, syn meaning together, and biosis meaning living. When putting each of these pieces together, we have endosymbiosis, which is the manner in which the endosymbiont lives, living together within. The organism within evolved to become the mitochondria, which is a double-membrane organelle known as the powerhouse of the cell. The mitochondria contains a crucial component to oxygen detoxification. The electron transport chain takes oxygen through a variety of processes, similar to a conveyor belt in which new components are introduced in each step and allows oxygen to be effectively used. The mitochondria takes oxygen in the body, puts it through various processes to detoxify it and oxidize glucose. The glucose then goes through many metabolic processes in the body, which is converted into ATP, the body's primary energy source. But wait, why do we have to detoxify oxygen in the first place? Due to oxygen's location on the periodic table, it has 6 valence electrons. However, molecules typically follow the octet rule, meaning each atom has 8 electrons. In order to achieve this, oxygen often exists as O2, a diatomic molecule. Di meaning 2, and atomic meaning atoms. Thus, oxygen exists as 2 atoms. Oxygen can easily form radicals under conditions like heat. When this occurs, the bond between 2 oxygen atoms in a molecule breaks and the electrons within that bond are split between the 2 atoms. When atoms have unpaired electrons, they are known as radicals and are highly reactive. This presents a problem for humans because there are components of the body that are susceptible to free radical attacks, including lipids such as cholesterol, cellular membranes, DNA and RNA, carbohydrates, proteins, and vitamins such as vitamin D, which we get from the sun. For example, cell membranes can be damaged by radical O2 in the following way. This is the atomic makeup of a cell membrane. But if we take a closer look, we can see the effects of free radical oxygen. This seems a bit complicated, but don't worry too much about the details. The radical oxygen creates a carbon radical by removing a hydrogen. The oxygen then reacts with the carbon radical to produce a peroxyl radical. This peroxyl radical, which can go and react with other components of the cell, will have a variety of effects on the membrane, including changing membrane permeability means the cell has less control of what goes in and out of it, and it cannot protect itself as well. For example, think of damage to the cell membrane as damage to the crosswalk lights. If they aren't functioning properly, the whole system comes crashing down. The activity of the enzymes on the membrane that help pump ions in and out can be greatly decreased. Think of it like a gas pump. If you can't pump gas into your car, it won't work. If ions can't be pumped into and out of the cell won't work either. And these are just a couple of examples of how oxygen radicals can affect one part of our bodies. Now we can see how important it is to detoxify oxygen. and how important oxygen is in order to live. We know this is a lot to take in, but it's just important to know that free radical oxygen can have many negative effects on our bodies if not properly detoxified. However, thanks to the adaptations of the human body, we don't have to worry about that. We are able to live in a world with oxygen without worrying about free radicals because our bodies take care of them for us.